Well, good morning, and we'll be back from that particular break where we've been going through the news recap this particular morning. I'm Jerome Paul Tsonko. You're watching Smart Means Business wherever you are at. And of course, it is a happy new month. It is the 1st of March 2023, the third month. The third month of the year 2023. We are moving on swiftly, moving on well so far, and it's a time, of course, when we look back and see how best the year has been going and how good it does seem to be getting as we go along the way. For all those who are actually joining us and watching us from all avenues of life, I do hope you are having the best of the time. And whereas the entire business community, we do continue to wish you well as the month does open up and quickly brings us to speed with a lot more of the different business ideas and discussions. Of course, this is Smart Means Business. This is your daily Kickstarter as we kickstart off your morning with more business information in regards to a lot more of the conversations rotating around different current affairs, especially around socio-economic factors in the country. And with the ongoing South Africa-Uganda Investment Business Forum, you get to realize there's a lot more of discussions to do with investment and business in today's show. But kicking it off, we will definitely be taking our eyes into the launch of the East African Business Expo 2023. This one is highly expected to attract a lot of conversations rotating around trade, investment, and networking. Yesterday at the Mestil Hotel in Kampala, while launching this particular one, of course, the discussions were rotating around how many of the traders within the East African region can be able to utilize the opportunities rotating around trade, investment, and obviously how we can network and have an impactful 2023 rotating around different stakeholders in business. As we kick it off now with our morning update, we dig deeper in understanding what the East African Business Expo of 2023, which is going to kick off in May, and what it will be able to highlight. Because by the look of things here, the key facts: it will have 600 delegates and 500 plus exhibitors, 4 full days of this particular business expo. It will have 200,000 plus registered members, host businesses, and there is an estimation that over 100 billion US dollars of procurement deals will be settled or will be initiated in this particular one. Now, this one will be, I didn't mention that it will be taking place in May, but it will be taking place in March from the 23rd to the 26th. 2023 at the Kololo Independence Ground, as put in place and brought to you by the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority, that is PPDA, on behalf of the Uganda government. It will be the 14th East African Procurement Forum under the theme Open Contracting as a Vehicle for Sustainable Development. So this is more of looking deeper into understanding how the 7 plus countries, 300 million plus people, will tap into a one open market to explore business opportunities. Let's look deeper in understanding why you as a trader and any business person there should be looking forward for this particular business expo.
The East Africa, the Common Market Protocol is clear that there shouldn't be discrimination against the citizens of the East African community. The reason we get together again under the East African Procurement Forum to harmonize some of these legal requirements. Some countries are not very much committed, and that is why we have brought on board the Minister for East African Community, Right Honorable Kadaga, to be part of this. Because even Gilbert, you remember when we went even Tanzania, the East African community who were in their building, but they were not even present in the forum. So we want now to bring them on board. Luckily, when we went to Kigali, the Secretariat was highly represented. Now we are going to have them here. So let's talk about these issues. Let's have a common ground, a common resolution that should be addressed by regulators now. Because the regulators will be present in this East African Procurement Forum. So, these are the issues we need to discuss and concretize and have resolutions put to the ministry in charge of East African affairs and also be discussed at the community level. Implementation, it is actually a breach. They are breaching these protocols.
Our intention and our plan that by 2025, trade, inter-regional trade should have grown to almost 50%. At the moment, it's limited, and yet we do more trade with the other countries outside the African continent. So this will help us to improve that because we have good products. Sometimes because we don't know what is available, that we go to China to look for some of these items. I also want to inform the gathering here that one of the difficulties we've been having is the breach of the treaty, breach of the customs union, breach of the common market protocol, especially the freedom of movement of goods, of services, of labor. This has still not been accomplished at the moment, but I want to assure you that last week we were in Bujumbura and we have set the parameters for establishment and management of breaches and established some sanctions. This has been an area which nobody wanted to touch, but we have said no. We think we need to go by the treaty and live by what we have agreed. So I believe that by April or May, we should have the set of parameters that we are going to use in cases of breach and ensure that they are effective. And also that the sanctions are in place and that they are applied. So those are some of the things we are going to do. So my ministry is happy to associate with the forum and the Business Expo. I was told that this is the first time they are coming together to Uganda. So I want to welcome you and encourage you to come, invite your friends, showcase your products, and let's show the best we have as a country. And I hope that our friends will respond. We are good at attending other people's functions, so please ensure that our friends also come to Uganda and showcase from here, enjoy our country, enjoy our tourism, eat our food, dance our dances, and then go home happy with friends and new contacts.
Building contacts like Right Honorable Alitwala Rebecca Kadaga has mentioned there should be a very huge one in regards to positioning ourselves as business traders within the East African Community region as so to tap into the available market. It's over with the fact that we have 7 countries now. That is more than 300 million plus people sharing one market. That is an opportunity for businesses to explore and make some good money, exhibit. In most cases, when these particular exhibitions do happen, you do realize it's basically rotating around exhibiting a lot of businesses, or rather a lot of commodities, goods, even services, if I'm to put it in that way. It's just a huge mention of lots of things here. You are looking at trying to build a market base for your business, for your items, for your goods, for all, whatever you can name it. But now you're having a 7 country million market which is there for you. 7 countries, 300 plus millions, 300 million plus of the people who are willing and ready to buy a product if at all it fits their needs and if at all it does suit their kind of budget. So it is high time the business community to at least try to utilize this chance. That is in the month of March, from the 23rd to the 26th. Of course, it's the East African Business Expo 2023, looking at trade, investment, and networking. Now, networking is basically giving you reasons as to why you need to attend. Sometimes you're going to exhibit, and you're now networking with different traders, different local investors, and giving yourself room of expansion. Because by the look of things, if you're to look at the people who will be exhibiting, the government bodies, for example, ministries, agencies, and various departments will be exhibiting during the same expo. The local authorities, then service providers. We do quite have a number of those service providers in the country. Manufacturers. I think this goes beyond those who are under Uganda Manufacturers Association. Then we have other manufacturers who are out of the country, traders, those who actually deal in importation, and those who deal in exportation, wholesalers and distributors. All these are people who are going to be exhibiting. Then, as well as entrepreneurs and business owners, you get to realize that if you're to break down all these names and bring them up to speed, for example, if we are to ideally give people all these chances of exhibiting, or give them this particular idea that these are open markets, so that means if these open markets are available, you should be able to tap into them. Then amongst the other exhibitions, or amongst the other exhibitors, will be the policy makers, and then regulatory bodies and the various interest groups that will be coming up, and international companies that are seeking for opportunities, especially seeking for market within the East African region and the African narrative in there. So, and then who is likely to attend? For example, which kind of stakeholders are expected to attend in this particular one? The procurement, heads of purchasing, different buyers, a CEO. If you're a CEO, chief executive officer of a given company, you're highly expected to attend. Supply chain managers or directors, accounting officers, MDs, the managing directors, for example, a business manager, you're expected to register and attend. Then suppliers who are highly recognized within the country. These are all people to expect. And if you're to ask who are the people who are going to attend, all these other delegates will have to attend. But then also the buyers themselves. Now this goes back to the markets. So you do expect various buyers, those who are interested in your product and those who are not. So that means it is upon you to lure them to have interest in your particular product or that particular service that you will be exhibiting during the expo. That is the East Africa Business Expo, the East African Business Expo 2023, looking at trade, investment and networking this time around. And for that, we now head into the press review this morning. Now, with the press review, I have the Daily Monitor and the New Vision. As the New Vision opens up with the operation, with the office of the Prime Minister saga. Ministers ordered to account for iron sheets, as the Speaker to Parliament has apparently said, carry your own cross this time round. And then on the other hand, Minister, the roofs got shed after Vision story. This is according to Minister Amos Lugolobi, after the story that was revealed that he used the iron sheets to cover up his farm. So there is an image here, 2 images, the before and then the after deroofing or removing these particular roofs, these iron sheets off the roof. Then also in the New Vision this morning, the local government has clarified on District Service Commission pay. This is another report. Then on the oil pipeline, French court clears Tilenga projects. That is another huge one. President Museveni and President Cyril Ramaphosa seal investment deal. This is among the key updates that we're going to be having in the show today, as President Museveni and President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa had, of course, a discussion yesterday rotating around investment and ideally mentioning tourism, looking at education amongst the key details being discussed in there. Then furthermore is looking deeper into understanding. You get to realize Uganda's exports to South Africa were at $11.41 million as of 2020, according to the United Nations Comtrade database on international trade. So South Africa is also one of the fastest growing sources of foreign direct investment for Uganda. This is the reason behind the trade relations that are expected to spur a lot of economic development for the both countries, Uganda and South Africa. Of course, the South Africa-Uganda investment, the South Africa-Uganda Business Forum is continuing, and it's expected to bridge a very huge opportunity for the Ugandans. That is the South Africa-Uganda Investment, Trade and Tourism Summit, which is ongoing in Pretoria, South Africa. And now also the Uganda milk export earnings go up. Another report here with the Daily Monitor, the New Vision. Then Minister Lugolobi has hailed Uganda-Japan cooperation. Another report coming in this morning from the New Vision. Now, away from that, the Daily Monitor, on the other hand, is also reporting something to do with Minister removing evil iron sheets off his roof. In between the lines, it's why me. Amos Lugolobi says he has not had peace of mind for using the office of the Prime Minister labeled iron sheets to roof a shed for animals on his farm, and accuses his critics for bias. Then bilateral ties, President Ramaphosa seeks more Ugandan coffee and cocoa in here. And then in the other news, French court dismisses case against Uganda's oil pipeline. Then UNEP is set to release USCE results this Friday. So that means for the parents of USCE or who had students sitting for USCE last year, it's high time you prepare for those results that are coming up. Now, lastly, from the Daily Monitor, vendors petition President Museveni over dues. This is rotating around the Night Street vendors in Masaka City, who have asked the president to prevail over city authorities who have continued to levy dues which were abolished in 2017. And that is it for the press review this morning. All right, now the press review aside, we are definitely heading to the traffic updates this morning with Barige Andrew to see how it is as of now. Of course, as early as 4 in the morning, 4 a.m., around 4 a.m. in most parts of the country, it started pouring. So the month of March did kick off with some rain pours and rain showers, which clearly gives you an advantage that, well, you never know, it may be a good month for those who want the rains to support the agricultural activities. Of course, February had some hot temperatures. March, on the other hand, does prove to be otherwise by the look of things, or by the look of how it has started. Now we're getting on ground with Barige Andrew as early as possible this morning. That is to give us more of an insightful at the old Kira Road, to give us more of an insightful look into the traffic flow this morning.
Thank you very much, Jerome, and of course a very good morning once again on a very cold Wednesday. Yes, today we are standing just right here at the Fairway Junction traffic lights, and of course observing the traffic atmosphere in this very area. And of course it's been quite a very surprising day, starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whereby we see some changes in the weather pattern, something which has been a little bit unusual, and this has had an impact on the traffic movement, most especially on the morning hours of the day. As we are observing where we are standing in here, and of course at the Sezibwa Road Junction, of course sloping down to the John Babiha Avenue, and of course on the Yusuf Lule route stretching all the way straight here. If you are to observe the vehicles that are coming, that is from town, maybe Chibuli, so many of those areas crossing over using the Yusuf Lule route coming towards this side, it's a little bit mild congested, I'll say that, because when you look at the vehicles, they're held at an interval of about, that is 3 to 5 minutes before they are being released to come in here. So you find that there is quite a thick fleet of vehicles in there. So if you're coming from areas like Chibuli, you're coming from Bugolobi, and you're connecting to areas like Kamocha, Wandegea, and you plan to pass via this very route, well, you may not be in position to reach in the actual time that you really plan. You know, the Yusuf Lule route is quite a little bit congested. As we are observing, the vehicles are held for quite very long intervals, periods of time, which might limit, of course, if you're coming to transact certain businesses in those areas, it may not be something quite very, very, very appropriate. Unlike away from the Yusuf Lule route connecting towards this very route, let's take a look at the Zanzibar route, which is always a free lane. And of course, for the people that are heading to Nakasero to execute businesses, it's quite very, very, very fair for you in there. Quite free. Few borders, though they are still there, carrying in there, but still there is some quite little bit of, very, very free lane as we are observing. Of course, vehicles going in there to execute the businesses that they are supposed to execute. So if you're planning to use this route and you're heading to Nakasero, it's quite free. Now let's take a look here. Vehicles that have just been released, of course, connecting to the Yusuf Lule route. Majority are coming from areas like Chibuli, Bugolobi, coming in here, connecting straight, of course, being released. Now their most majority probably could be heading towards Kamocha and Wandegea. Yes, the probable places, Mulago, and of course they are going to connect to another roundabout there as we proceed looking in here. But the most amazing aspect is that now the vehicles that are coming from areas like Wandegea, Kamocha, connecting via the Yusuf Lule route, probably heading to the city center. They could be even heading to Jinja, so many Jinja Road, Nakawa, and they're probably going to pass to this route. It's quite a little bit of a free lane. Yeah, it's a smooth flow of the vehicles, except the Mulago roundabout just before there. Of course, if you're coming here, you're going to meet 2 traffic lights. There is the Mulago roundabout there. There is quite a little bit some congestion, which can be there. And of course, you also come across the fairway traffic lights. But according to the observation, it seems a little bit free and friendly for any person that is coming from Wandegea, Kamocha, Mulago to come this side to transact business, and you probably plan to pass via the fairway traffic lights, and of course sloping to the different areas of destination. As we are observing, it's a little bit a smooth lane, a little smooth. Vehicles held, but you don't find a very thick line of fleet of the vehicles. It's quite a little bit fair, and I'm seeing some of course already being released, heading to the different destinations of work, probably around this area. It's not as compared to other areas as we've been observing the traffic atmosphere. It's slightly, of course there is a deception that when you look at it, it might seem so scary, but the funny thing, when the vehicles are released in a space of just 3 minutes, it's quite very free. So if you're coming probably to execute in a business, and you plan to pass via the fairway traffic lights junction, I guess you might have a very wonderful time to reach other destination that you're supposed to reach. Of course, if you are in your vehicle and you're looking towards that, yes, it can be something very, very, very friendly. Yes, and that is the situation like here at the fairway lights, fairway traffic lights, and of course observing the traffic atmosphere in here. And it's quite a free lane for any person going to execute in a business at whatever area. It's quite very, very fair. Back to studio with Joram.
Right, and of course the month of March quickly kickstarts off with some cold temperatures, cold weather, a busy traffic flow in most parts of the country now. For example, those that are actually leading to Kampala. And one may ideally now attribute that to the rains that woke us up at around 4 a.m. And now you will have to experience some traffic jam from as early as 7 as it is now till around 10 a.m. So you should be able to sketch and see how best you will be moving later on in the day. And as we're heading into the break though, what you need to know is investment should be part of you as the month kicks off. So Zabu is giving you that advantage. Star 292# is the USSD code for you to invest in securities, and the available securities include government bonds, one of which you can only use 15,000 Ugandan shillings for anyone who wishes to invest in government bonds. Star 292 is the USSD code that you can use today. Zabu makes it very simple and very possible for you to invest in as much as you can. Zabu, my money, my future. All Tech East Africa, do something new. These markets on the platform open at 8:15 a.m. and closing time is 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. They are only fully closed on weekends and on public holidays. Zabu, my money, my future. All Tech East Africa, do something new. After the break, we shall be looking at Karibu East Africa for business reports making headlines across the East African region. Not only that, we have more coming in from the world of the international updates. So stick around, lots of information coming up this morning.